in here, but hopefully we can get them some air. Let's go see. Okay, the homeowner says when he turns it on, nothing happens, but he thought it was a package unit, and it definitely is. So, at least we don't have to climb under the house. This ought to be easy enough to figure out what's going on. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. See if it's got power or what's going on here. If I'd known it was a package unit, I would have grabbed my drill. Okay. First thing I always do is punch the contactor in. And we get nothing, but it does not necessarily mean there's no power, so try to confirm that before I get shocked. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is go look for the breakers. So let's go find out where they are. And in case it's tripping it. Pull that out for now. Okay, it was in the garage and it was tripped. So, got them to open that outside garage door in case we have to go back and forth a couple times. Hopefully we can find out what's tripping it. Doesn't sound good. But something started making noise before we even gave it this leg. Sounds like something going on with the compressor to me. Hear the compressor now. The air is not hot at all. Well, look at that. Got old Bristol. And it sounds like the leg that's hot all the time. Oh, I can tell you now the compressor's the problem. Fan's running at half speed. You can see that until it tripped, and it just now tripped. So we've got a bad winding in the old Bristol. See if you can see that old-timey bee up there. Yeah, this thing.
Air conditioner crap out.
Had it. All right, so it did stop running at half speed, and then I thought it had tripped the breaker again, and right when I got the screws out of the fan up top, the 5-minute delay was over and the unit came on. Now we got no compressor. All we had was fan. But out of that little bit of noise that I heard at first out of the compressor, it really made me think that it's got a problem. But we'll check this capacitor right quick just for giggles and last minute hopes. .88 from common to hermetic. So that's definitely weak. 4.73 on the fan, so that's probably okay. .23 out of the hermetic. So I don't know how far out of range that is. I'm pretty sure that it's a waste of time to try one. But honestly, we've got nothing to lose here. It's supposed to be a 35 by 5. So let's grab one and see what happens. The compressor windings failing and kind of backfeeding, if you will, and keeping the fan motor running at half speed outside. And then of course when it would call for compressor, you'd get full speed on the fan, but nothing on the compressor. Run like that long enough, it can kick it. So we have a 35 by 5 USA Mars here. Hopefully, looks like it might barely fit in there. Guess we're gonna find out. Oh yeah, right in there. And get the hermetic on there. I used to call that the hermetic. Just ribbing at old John Israel, because he always said hermetic. So, carrying on with him, having fun. I would call it the hermetic, but he's tough, he can hang, so he just laughed. And one time I said Yark instead of York, and he said, "All right, knock it off, Ted." So, anyway. He's been a lot of fun over the years, and so have all these YouTube guys. I tell you what, everybody should be watching his channel, Steve Lav's channel, Zach's channel, those new guys at the Overtime channel. Got a big community full of a bunch of good guys here. All right, so let's plug it back in and see if we get the half-speed thing again. And I really believe this compressor has had it, but I'm all the way over here. It's a really hot day. Just try to take every possible chance we can for these people. And no, I don't hear any. Oh yeah, there it goes. Let's see what happens. Bad news for the bad news bears. And when it didn't stop, the first time is when I recognized what's going on here. So let's be a little more thorough, even though we know what's happening here. Let's be a little bit more thorough so that in case he gets a second opinion, we're giving him all the information available. So we will, anytime there's a compressor problem, I'm always nervous that something's holding power, but I'll pull this hermetic loose. And take the orange compressor lead off the contactor. The thing hadn't never been off there, I don't believe. Give it a little help. There's the orange one. There's the blackened. All right. Now we know it's not grounded. So the dummy beep's not gonna tell us anything. And like I say, if it was grounded, we'd get a looks like the start has enough of a ground in its winding to make it beep. Common does not, and the run does. So the start and the run are both giving us enough to ground. So I bet if we put the mega on here, it would go almost to the end. Switch to ohms. Go from run to start, or yeah, run to start is 4.8. Run to common is dang near nothing. Or I'm sorry, that was start to common. And run to common here is 1.034. Common to start 1.04 something. And all right, the phone got hot sitting here in the sun and lost a little bit of video there, but anyway, this is definitely condemned. But for you newer techs, whatever you do, put the screws back in. Now, I did take my capacitor back out and put the old one back in. No matter how bad trash the unit is, put it back together. If they get a second opinion, you don't want to give the next guy anything to say what you might have done. Now, I stuck this back in upside down to where it's off. I've gotten to other jobs before to give a second opinion and found the disconnect laying right there, so it could have gotten blown away or picked up by a kid or whatever. Screws piled up on top of the unit, fell off on the ground.